Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to the 2018-19 deer hunting season. I am Matt from Deerhuntertips.com, and today is Friday, October 5th. I'm headed up for my first hunt of the year, and I'm heading up to my public land spot that I've got, so I won't be able to do any filming, of my hunt itself, just part of the stipulations, but, I'm super pumped to get out for the start of the year, so just wanted to make a quick video, and I'll let you know how everything turns out once I'm out of the stand. I've got a southerly wind this afternoon, and I'm going to be sitting in a stand that is overlooking a bunch of exit trails of some patch of woods leading out towards some ag fields that are probably a good 500 yards away still. I'm thinking that there's probably still quite a bit of acorns on the ground. I know when I was out there last weekend, there were not as many acorns as I expected, but I could tell that the deer had been moving through and eating them quite a bit. So I am going to be sitting in between some of those acorn trees and where I'm expecting the deer to be bedding, and hopefully we'll be able to pull out a doe. I don't believe that it's an area that many bucks bed, the little spot that I've got. So in order for the buck hunting, I'm probably going to be waiting until the end of the month or going into the early part of November before I start really honing in on the buck trails going through there. But overall, it should be a good night. It's about 62 degrees right now. So not too bad for early October, but yeah, I'm super pumped. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll catch up with you in a little bit. Alright, so unfortunately that is where the battery on my microphone started to die. Just one more thing that makes filming your hunts that much harder is trying to remember keeping everything charged up. But regardless, I had a great hunt that afternoon. I ended up seeing 3 deer total. This was the first one that came out, the one that I harvested here. It was a button buck. As soon as I saw that there were no antlers, I decided to take it, and did not realize that it was a fawn. It's not generally what I'm after. I don't knock anyone else that takes fawns, but generally that's not what I'm after, so I was actually pretty disappointed that I walked up on a button buck. But, that's okay. I got a deer down. It was a great shot, and it ended up being about a 30 to 35 yard shot. The deer ran maybe 60 yards, and that was it. So it was a relatively slow track, just because the hit was a little bit higher, so there wasn't as much blood coming out as I would have expected, but it was still a short track, like I said, about 60 yards or so, and thunder started rolling in, and had to get him gutted really quick and get him out of there. So the next time I had a chance to get out and hunt was the following Friday. You're seeing part of the opening interview now, and it was a great morning, really cold temps. It got down to below freezing that night. I was really excited to be out there. First time I've hunted this spot this season. I knew that I was in for a pretty good hunt. I was again looking for a doe. The funnel spot here is another spot that I don't really expect a lot of bucks until the rut and the cruising starts. So that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be out there, hopefully catching a cruising buck. But this group of does here is the first group of deer I saw that morning. I was really hoping to get a shot, but as you're seeing right now, the doe kind of got to within 30 to 35 yards. She was behind a tree and just out of nowhere stomped, and just something didn't feel right to her, and so she started looking around and got too uncomfortable and headed out. I know she didn't smell me, The wind was not swirling, and I mean, I honestly, I just can't, I can't explain what happened. I don't have any idea what happened on that one. Um, so I was really hoping they'd come back through. It was maybe 30 minutes later when this second group of deer came in. As it turned out, it was a doe and a button buck fawn. And so I got ready. I was super stoked. But she came in pretty much the exact same way as that first group of does did, right down the same trail, and button buck following right behind her. And they were moving slow, and they actually ended up getting right next to me. I couldn't get the camera on them. Luckily, they turned around and came back the other direction and came right back out in front of me. Right now, she is probably standing about 15 yards, less than that, from the stand where I'm at. And I was trying to get the camera on her so I could get a shot at her right there in front of me, but it didn't work out. As you can see, she ended up getting behind some brush there before I could take a shot. The button buck saw me fumbling around and kind of took off, and that's what kind of gets her attention here. You see him come in, and he was a little spooked, but not, didn't really know what's going on. He's still young, thankfully. Didn't blow or anything like that. And I had the camera in position, and to be quite honest, I didn't realize she was quite as quartering away as she was when I took this shot. And if you'll notice, right here, as I'm taking the shot, she actually took another step forward. Something I was definitely not expecting. Luckily, she maybe ran 40 yards, and I thought I heard her crash. I saw a bunch of brush moving around, and I could have sworn I heard her go down. So I was super pumped. I mean, 2 Fridays in a row with a deer down. I mean, it just doesn't get much better than that. So, I immediately got on the horn and started calling everybody. And as I'm doing that, the button buck comes charging back in. He came in, he was sniffing around, and eventually, he probably ended up back over pretty much exactly where the doe fell 3 or 4 times. I mean, I don't know if he ever actually saw her laying there or what the case was, but he came in and he was running around all over the place, tail up, and crisscrossing back and forth all through the area. I was able to get quite a bit of footage of him running around. Actually, it was pretty crazy. And then all of a sudden, as I'm filming him and watching him run around, and he's over by his where the doe had fallen, I hear something right behind me. I mean, right behind me. And as you can see right here, the doe just came literally directly underneath my stand. I mean, she came out and walked right next to the tree that I'm sitting in. I am less than 10 feet up in this tree, and I mean, the fact that she didn't notice me was amazing. The only reason she didn't is because she came from right behind me and walked right past the tree. She definitely smelled all around the base of the tree, where I had my bow on the ground and stuff like that as I was getting set up. And then right behind her was 2 more deer, another doe and then a button buck. I highly suspect that this is the same 3 deer as the first encounter that I had that morning. So as it turned out, they did come back through. Unfortunately, you can plainly see I do not have an arrow nocked, and I was not prepared. My only response was, well, I wasn't prepared, so I will nock an arrow right now just in case. And wouldn't you know it, the button buck comes running back through again. He had gotten scared off when the does came walking in from behind me, and so he comes busting back in here again. And like I already said, shooting fawns is not what I'm looking for. So I just took the opportunity to get some more video of them, and that was that was that. So I had a great start to the season so far. I honestly couldn't be any happier unless I had shot a big mature buck, but it was a great start to the season, and hopefully there's a lot more to come. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.